Alright, on this video for practice number 2, I'm going to do 5 problems from the practice. We're going to check all of our answers because we're allowed to use our calculator. So in the first one, I want to make sure that I isolate the square root, which means in this problem I have to add 10 to both sides first. So once I add 10, I'm going to have the square root of 7x over 5 equals 14. I'm going to square both sides, which will give me 7x equals 196. We just did that one. Oh, 7x over 5, I'm sorry. And then this is going to be a kind of big number. So we'll multiply both sides by 5 to get rid of the denominator. 7x equals 196 times 5. Let's see. I have it on the paper, but I want to show you. 980. Divided by 7. And when I type that into decimals, I got 140. I need to check my work. So I'm going to type this into decimals. I'm going to type in the square root of 7 times 140. 7 times 140 divided by, let's see, decimals can be funky. Let's do it this way. Now divided by 5, and that equals 14, which is what we wanted it to equal. No, it's not. A minus 10. Sorry, I've heard the minus 10. Equals 4, which is what we wanted it to equal. So I know 140 is a solution. All right, next one here. Number 6. Isolated square root from going to square both sides. 5x squared minus 125, 0 squared is 0. Now here's how I'm going to do this. I have a GCS here. I'm going to divide a 5 out of both. So we'll have 5 times x squared minus 25 equals 0. And you should notice that I can do difference of squares. Square root of x squared is x. Square root of 25 is 5. Now, if you did not notice that, to get the solutions of 5, oops, I don't know why I wrote 2. You did not notice that to get these two solutions. There is another way you could solve this one. You could have taken 5x squared minus 125 and solved it this way. You could have added 125, gotten 5x squared equals 125, and then taken the square root. Now the only thing you have to be careful of if you do this is technically when we're solving an equation with square roots, there are two answers, positive and negative 5, which is what we got by factoring. So there's two ways to do this one, but you have to make sure if you solve taking a square root that you actually have both answers. You have to have 2. Now let's check our work. I'm going to have square root of 5x squared minus 125. I'm going to graph this one. Square root of 5x squared minus 125. And I want to know where I'm equal to 0. Looks like there's two solutions, negative 5 and 5, which matches our equation. So this has 2 solutions, no extremes. Number 8. All right, when I square both sides, this time we did a problem like this on our practice 1 or our notes. The square goes away on the left, but when I square the right-hand side, I actually have to write it twice. All right, 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Now here's what I have. I want to get all the x squares on one side, so I'm going to subtract 4x squared from both sides. And I get 5 minus 4 is 1x squared minus 9 equals 0. Now, I can do 2 ways to solve this one again, right? I can do what I did on the last problem and add the 9, get x squared equals 9, and take the square root. And remember that I'll get 2 solutions, positive and negative 3. Or I could notice that it's factoring by difference of squares. And I get the same answers anyway, positive 3 and negative 3. There's not a right or wrong way to do this one. You just need to check, make sure that you factor or solve correctly. So I'm going to check this one by graphing, all right? I think it'll be easier. So I have two solutions algebraically. So I'm going to graph the left-hand side, the square root of 5x squared minus 9. And then the right-hand side on the next line, 2x. Oh, it looks like they only cross once when I type it in. Looks like I have one solution of positive 3. It doesn't look like negative 3 is a solution. So it looks like positive 3 works, negative 3 is extraneous. So you can cross that one off. All right, a couple more. Number 9. Start by isolating our square root. To do that, I'm going to subtract 8. So the square root of x plus 1 equals negative 6. And then I'm going to square both sides. When I square a negative number, it's always positive. And then I'll subtract 1. So I have a solution of x equals 35. Let's type this into Desmos and see what we get. So I'm going to just type it in to check. I'm not going to graph this time. So I'll have 8 plus the square root of x plus 1. And what I get, not x, I'm sorry. Instead of x, I want to type in 35. If I type in 35, I get the answer of 14. But our problem said it should be equal to 2, which is not what I got. So this actually means that x equals 35 is extraneous, and there's actually no solution here. And remember, the way we write no solution is the empty set symbol, the phi. Great, last one. Number 11. I think that's the last one. Yep. Isolate the square root. I'm going to subtract x from both sides. This is the longest one on the page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to I have x squared minus 8 equals 4 minus x. I'm going to write it this way so I don't have a negative in front. I'm just going to leave it as 4 minus x. That's fine. The square root is isolated, so I'm going to square both sides. Now, when I square both sides, remember the left-hand side, I have to write, or the right-hand side, I have to write it as 4 minus x times 4 minus x. When I double distribute, 4 times 4 is 16, minus 4x, minus 4x, plus x squared. Now I'm going to simplify this. I'll write all the steps out this time. X squared minus 8 equals, I'm going to write it in order. So x squared minus 8x plus 16. And now I can solve. If I subtract 8x, subtract x squared, getting tired, those actually go away on both sides. So I just have negative 8 equals negative 8x plus 16. And now here I can solve for x. I'm going to subtract 16 for both sides. Get negative 24 is negative 8x, and divide. So I have 3 equals x. Let's check our answer. I'm going to type 3 in for x, or I'll graph this one. Let's see. So I will have, let's see, x plus the square root of x squared minus 8. And I want to know where that's equal to 4. Looks like I have one cross. That's a really cool graph, by the way. But it looks like x equals 3 is the solution where those are equal. So that's why x equals 3 is an answer. No extraneous there. All right. You're ready for the test review. Make sure you understand how to do these before you go ahead and move on to the test review.